See if anybody makes it in since it is late night, but you can see it's still raining out. It's still wet. It's cold rain too. It's pretty cold rain. It's actually like 42 right now. 48. We usually don't get this cold of rain. Looks like a couple people made it in. I had to try and figure out a thumbnail. So that was me taking a picture of me in my old skate park from 91. No, 91. What am I talking about? Like 82. No, 80. Oh, I got a like. There were some other people in earlier, but oh, yeah, I figured I'd come in since Damien, what is up? Welcome to a delayed skate and fish. Sort of kind of canceled, but I figured I'd come on anyway. I just come on from the stripper porch. I don't know. We've had rain since we started raining here around 4 o'clock. It was supposed to be really windy too, but the wind never came up. And it rained pretty good for about 2 hours maybe. Hey Tanner, what is up? Haven't seen you in here in a while. Yeah, so we've had rain. Rain started about 4, but we're supposed to have rain for the next 9 days. We have 9 days of rain coming. We've had hardly any rain, and now 9 in a row. Did you end up getting it? Didn't know you had it. Or are you just saying it? Well, it's not over yet, so I guess you're saying you had it. I've luckily avoided. Oh, that looks really cool. Ooh, can I show that? Look at our tree looks like. I don't know if you guys can see all the raindrops on it from the light. Looks like a freaking Christmas tree. Yes, I slept. Yeah, the neighbor's light came on. You can see all the water drops in the tree. It looks really cool. You slept a lot? Yeah, I've heard of other people that had it and said they just slept. Well, that tree looks really cool. I don't know if you guys could actually see that. Looks like something out of a freaking Christmas movie. Well, at least you survived it. I've personally known a few people that, well, I guess not personally, but through my lives, we've had other people on that have had it. Wow, that's cool. I'm just amazed at all the water on the tree. because it's got that strobe light behind it. Did you get your blanket yet? No. I haven't got any order yet, no. It's alright, I got my granny blanket. I don't know, he's doing alright. He's doing fine. He just puts things on that make people worry about him, but I think he's doing fine. His last post wasn't anything about doing anything weird. It was that they canceled, I don't know, some music festival we're supposed to have. Then I kind of got a weird one from Richard. Hope he comes in. He put a weird post up on his Facebook. Yeah, no blanket yet, but you know, I'm getting pretty used to the freezing part of it, Nick. This blanket's pretty good. It's pretty cold tonight, though. For rain, it's 42 degrees. We usually don't have this cold of rain. Usually our rain is, you know, it's in the 50s. Yeah, he kind of left something weird on his Facebook post. So I don't know what that was about. I just responded, what? With a question mark. Supposed to have 26 miles an hour, 26 mile an hour winds tomorrow with some rain, so. Oh man, I need a hot tent out here. Wish I knew someone I could collab with about getting a hot tent. I could put a hot tent on my porch. Maybe that's the way I could go about it. We do hot tent lives. Whoa, wind's starting to pick up. That's not good. Of course, it's coming from behind me, so. I don't know, you didn't see, did you see the tree? Can you guys see the tree? I don't know. The light's in the way. There's a whole bunch of the rain, all the rain on it's like lighting up from the freaking light. It looks really cool. Looks like some sort of decoration. It is raining out again. Yep. I can see it on the light. Oh, I got a freaking spider on my blanket. That's not good. I don't like spiders. Do I have PayPal? Yeah, I have PayPal. My PayPal is what is it? I think it's centralcoastbass.me. Oh, let me go grab it. I have it somewhere. I'll be back. Alright, I found it. I gotta get rewarmed. I gotta get rewarmed. Readjust this thing. Whoa. That's it. That's what I have hooked up. PayPal.me/Santa Cruz Bass. Yay. I knew it had something to do with Santa Cruz Bass. Yesterday? Yesterday I ended up downloading 77 songs. Oh, you did, Damien? You did see it? Okay. Oh, now you can't see as the light went off. The tree looks cool, huh? I was going to turn the other way, but I can't with the tripod. I was going to go with the front camera, but I can't turn it that way because of the tripod legs. Car going by. Let's see the rain. Yay! Uh-oh.
It's not raining very hard.
It's raining and the wind's starting to pick up.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that part.
Mom's like, it's not raining very hard. Oh, you probably heard her. Yeah, you can kind of see it on the light. It's a little dark. Oh, I gotta put this in here. It's gonna blow away. Did you get the message, Nick? Were you able to read it? I don't know if you read it or not, but I put it up there. I done put it up. I knew it was something Santa Cruz Bass. Yeah, PayPal.me/Santa Cruz Bass. That's it. That's how people pay me for my baits and stuff. That's the way I have that hooked up. Yeah, but I downloaded 77 new songs for my, for my videos, for my B-rolls and for intros and stuff. Not intro, because I already have my intro set, but sort of the music I put under my intro of my blogs. I have music kind of playing under it. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on it. I found a great place to get good music. Actually, I have two places. One is a software that you can create your own music in. That works on YouTube. And the other one is something that I found that I didn't even know you could get. I was just like, holy shit, what the hell's this? I didn't know this existed. I've already used some of the songs off it in my B-rolls, and people like the new music. It's really eclectic. It's got a lot of stuff on there. All kinds of music. And they all work 100% on YouTube, so. I always hear from a lot of people that they try and get supposedly copyright-free music and then they get dinged on YouTube for it. So I kind of want to do a helpful how-to video on making sure you get music that works for sure. And one of them I've been using for a long time. Nothing's ever got taken off or recognized. And one of them's really cool because of the way you can set it up. The way you can actually create the songs for your videos is really cool. And yeah, the other one I found was by accident. For the most part. And I've never heard anybody talk about it, so I think it might be good for a lot of people. And now I kind of got to figure out what I'm going to do for the next 9 days, because yeah, it's supposed to have rain from today until February 2nd. And all of them are pretty high, not like just 20%. Most of them are like 70%, 85%, 65%. You know, they're not just like, oh, 20% chance, 15. They're all pretty substantial. Say we're having an atmospheric river. That's what they call it when the jet stream just brings tons of moisture through us. They call it an atmospheric river. Ooh, I'm at 6 of 5 now. Ooh, 7 of 5. Is anybody? Are you still here, Nick? Damien, Spencer, Peeps, Fishing with Tanner. Oh, it's snowing there? Well, good. Yeah, I've actually, since I've lived here, last 10 years, we did have snow here once. I'm in the background listening and driving. Okay, Backroads. Yeah, we had, but it was like snowballs. They were like that big, but it wasn't hail. They like came down light. I sent my super hat. Super hat? You have a super hat? Jess Fish is in. Is it raining where you are, Jess? We got snow where Nicholas is. I got rain here. I'm assuming you got rain there. Really? Wow, it started raining here at like 4 o'clock. And it's still raining a little bit. Oh, well, I sent my super chat to your PayPal. I'm like, wow, you can send hats? Yeah, one of those like Willy Wonka things, huh? Where you just put it on it and it like materializes. I'll be able to get into my PayPal and I'll just reach into the screen and pull out a hat. Like, wow. Wow. Thanks, Nicholas. I didn't even know this existed, but I got your hat. Oh. Yeah, you don't, Nicholas, you don't have Richard's Facebook? Because I have his Facebook. I get when he posts on his Facebook. I don't know if it's his, I think it's the same name. I think it's just his name. Or it might be the same name as his channel. But yeah, he left something kind of interesting, so I don't know. He hasn't added me yet. Oh. I think you can look him up. I think it's his name, music, same as his YouTube channel on Facebook. But he left an interesting post on there. Oh, he deleted it? Oh, good. He should have deleted it. Actually, that's right. I haven't talked to you guys since then. Actually, Bait the Hook won on mine. I guess that lady Michelle, somebody won it, but yeah, Bait the Hook was what my random generator picked, was Bait the Hook. And his comment was, "Did I remember to leave a chat?" I don't know if he left two or not, because it picks out if you have two or anything. But yeah, he actually won on my end. He didn't win overall, but well, good. I'm glad he freaking deleted it. He left a random one like that one I told you that Wasabi left. Wasabi left one that was kind of frightening. Scared the hell out of me. There were a few. There were a few posts back to it that I saw, like 7 or 8 of people that kind of concerned. And I said, I just left. What? With a question mark. So, I don't know. He's not in here and I haven't talked to him, so. Good, I'm glad he deleted it, because that's nothing. You shouldn't post stuff like that on freaking Facebook. It scares people. So it didn't rain at all today there, Just Fish? Just started here? Just started now? So I was telling people, we have, at least here in Monterey, we have 8 days straight of rain. There's rain on the forecast from at least now. From today all the way till the 2nd of February. So, yeah. We need it. We're like 8 inches behind in our rain right now, which isn't good for the end of January. But we sometimes have wet Februarys and really wet Marches. So we're not out of the woods yet. We just might get a late year. Okay, yeah, it rained pretty good here. It started about 10 to 4. It rained pretty good for about 3 hours. No, for about 2 hours. And it's been on and off light since then. But we were supposed to get 17-mile-an-hour winds with it, and we didn't get any wind with it. So I don't know if it's just... That usually scares me. That scares me, because when they say, oh yeah, heavy winds and all that, and all of a sudden we get a little rain, but there's no wind in that, it's like, all right, did it stall out? Pancho Villa. I'm also uncut. All right. there's there's a different meaning for uncut, but thanks for the info. I guess, yeah, I guess that is another term for uncut. I didn't, I was thinking of editing, not that way, but yeah. Yeah, that is another form of uncut. Oh, wow. I don't know if you guys heard that. The wind picked up, and I guess somebody has plastic over something over there. I said tomorrow, I don't know if it's predicted in your area, Just Fish, because he lives north of me, but 26-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. And they said something about debris flows in the Monterey Bay. I don't know if, I don't, I don't know if it's because it's enough rain to wash down all the stuff that burned last year. But I did see some on the news that said debris flows. Like, debris flows in the bay. All right. Tuesday through Thursday. Ours had it every day. You hear that? The wind's starting to pick up right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's definitely starting to pick up right now. Yeah, ours said it was. I think Monday was only like 40% or something, but high winds. And I think whoa. I love you. Can you guys hear that? Something has plastic over their truck, and it's starting to get picked up. Uh, there were 2 days that were 70%, and then there were a couple that were like 45 and 50%, and then I think there was another like 80% later in the week. But it's 10-day forecast, you know. Can you guys hear that? It, can you hear the howling? Hey, believer, how's it going? Can you guys? It's starting to howl through the pine trees across the way. And by the end of this live, I might be sitting here in like 20-mile-an-hour winds. What was the story behind the license? It's still there. You can see it. Yeah, it's just, we were supposed to have 17, 20-mile-an-hour winds today, and they didn't happen in the rain. But it's, I don't know. I said when that happens, I'm like, all right, is the storm delayed? Because we're supposed to get like quarter, half an inch here, and we didn't get near that. So I don't know if the brunt of the storm is just delayed and it's just starting to move in, or yeah. My neighbor has his truck covered with plastic. The flag across the way is straight. Bonanza Choppa. Yeah. Well, the story, well, you saw it. Well, there was a clip at the end of the video, end of the fishing video, when we're leaving, and he throws it on the deck. No, that was laying at Don Pedro, and I said, "There's my license plate I lost years ago." So when we were leaving, Just Fish picked it up and threw it onto the deck of the boat, and there it sits right now. I don't know whose it is. Yeah, he made a skid mark, all right. That was the funniest part. I don't know. I think it just fell off. Still got the bolt, one of the bolts on it. I think it just fell off. Or they scraped it on the way up and it pulled it off. It doesn't have it just has pit. What the hell is pit? I met Rich on R5's live. R5. R5 Adventures. I don't know if you know her, but he's 17. Pretty sure he's 17. Uh-oh. This wind's really scaring me. Permanent eye trailer. Not sure what that is. Yeah, is it? It looks like it used to have years on it below that. Like when you register and you have to put the year. There's some colored ones under it, but the one on top is PTI. It just says PTI. Um, no pit. No, it's not. It's PTI. It says PTI on it. Looks like underneath it, it's got different colored stickers, like you put on every year. So I don't know what the PTI is. It has January on the other side, but it has PTI. Never seen that. Never seen that on a license plate. PTI identification. I don't know. Put to it? I don't know. Yeah, I can't reach it. Oh, have I ever been on a mini bike? That's right. No, I think maybe years ago when I was young, because I know my neighbors used to have like kind of a dirt bike track in their front yard, and they had mini bikes. I've ridden mopeds. Permanent trailer identification. Oh, so they don't have to. Oh, okay. So they don't have to waste printing the stickers every year. Oh well. We'll get the chopper. It's funny because when I looked it up, I found the old. I looked it up on Google and I found the old advertisements for it. That was kind of cool. Old '60s like advertisements for that Bonanza mini chopper. I'm getting really worried about this wind. I mean, I'm not fishing tomorrow, but it's just because they said choppers are expensive. I don't know. I don't think it had a price on it. I did find it though. It showed right up on Google. I typed in Bonanza Mini, and then before I even finished Mini, it had all these listings for it. So I guess it was pretty popular. Oh, and you're getting the new one, right, Nick? Are you getting that electric, that new one? I don't want a helicopter. I don't mind flying, but I'd rather be in like a production plane. I don't like those little things. Oh, really? 1,500? Yeah. What he showed us one. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy a house. Where'd that come from? Did somebody ask him if he was buying a house? I thought you got the trailer and property now. Where's that what you're talking about? Is that what you were talking about? Oh, I'm just gonna buy a house. Oh, okay. Was that instead of the trailer and the land? You said you were thinking of getting a trailer and the land. You can actually, well, yeah, if you get one of the mobile homes, those are the ones you see going down the street. There you go. Oh, that's what you mean? Yeah. You can get a mobile home. Mobile homes are nice. They deliver them. I'm saying, realize. Well, no, he's going to buy some property and he's going to put a trailer on it. But yeah, mobile homes, you know, you see them on the freeway, wide load, and all those people driving behind them and that. And yeah, and they're in two sections and they just put them together. Oh yeah, yeah, they can, yeah. They move whole houses. I think he's talking a mobile home, not a actual full size house. Yeah, I've seen that done. It's got to be in a right location now because now you have all the wires and stuff. Yeah, 'cause I don't exactly. Mobile homes are nice. I've had a bunch of friends that lived in mobile homes. Actually, my friend Rick, Ocean Diablo, the one of you that's on my shows a lot or used to be a lot from Pinot, he lives in a mobile home. Yeah, my friend Rick. He was my best friend in that growing up through high school and that. But yeah, he was in a mobile home park and it had a lake and we went and we caught a bunch of channel cats there. And build a cabin. There you go. Yeah, that'd be a good video. You can do a video of you building a cabin. Build a log cabin. I think you can order those too. You can assemble them yourselves. Are you singing again in Coleman? This wind's really starting to scare me right now. It's it's starting to pick up. The 17-mile-an-hour winds didn't come with a storm today. They're usually, even if they're wrong with the rain, they're usually right with the wind. And they were completely wrong today. The wind didn't come up at all when it rained. Wait, what? Recreate one of those Indian pool building videos. Are you starting to get any wind at your house, Jess? That sounds like a car, but that's the wind. Did you guys hear that? That sounded like a car driving. I thought that was a car, but that's actually the wind. Oh, it's starting to pick up here. You guys will see it in the next like hour or two if I'm on here live because I think it's going to start really howling here soon. Yeah, it's howling over there more than it is the other side, but I can see the. Right now, you'd actually see the. You're getting advice there. Advice questions, Nicholas. Yeah, you can see the telephone wires totally swaying over there. I'm getting scared. Oh, you can hear the howling now. We have a bunch of pine trees on the other side. Ooh, I'm starting to get water on me. This isn't good. We might be in for a real good storm here during this live. Uh-oh. scaring me. this, is, this is becoming catastrophic. That sounds freaky. I'm sure you guys can hear that. this is this is gonna be an interesting live. Something I wasn't expecting. Going live on my porch in a freaking gale force wind storm. And I like speed. Yeah, speed. Yeah. Speed almost killed Tito. So like, things are starting to fall down. This is like, this, this is like camping in a blizzard, but real time. I don't know how bad it's going to get. It's kind of setting up like it's going to get really bad right now. I think so, Leanne. I said I wasn't expecting. I know tomorrow's supposed to be windy. Today was supposed to be windy. It didn't get windy. And now just suddenly, since I've been live, you guys, you can hear it starting to howl through the trees. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens during the live if it really starts. I've already heard something fall over there. And my neighbor has a not too well secured piece of plastic over his truck that's starting to get blown around. Oh, I'm 8 and 8. I said it's supposed to be 26-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. So I don't know. See what happens. You have to unscrew the governor. See, he even knows how to modify mini bikes now. Yeah, he gave you some info. I don't know. I'm just waiting. Oh, the other night I was on too. Remember I was on the other night and then Chris said it was howling really, really windy in Santa Cruz and I had nothing? Yeah. Right after my live, it started blowing like crazy here. Actually blew my trash can all the way across the porch. It's just plastic, but actually shot past me and slid all the way down the porch. Uh-oh. I'm sure glad we don't have tornadoes in California. This is sounding like it might become one. Luckily, it's coming from behind. Oh, really? Nice. Yeah, evidently California gets the most tornadoes, but because of our topography in that, they don't form because of the hills and stuff. Because of the mountains and all that, they don't. They sort of dissipate before they touch ground. Every once in a while, yeah, a few will touch. But yeah, I'm surprised. I was reading that somewhere. And it says California actually has the most tornadoes start to form. But yeah, I know. But I said just because of our topography and the mountains and the hills, they don't actually form enough that they actually reach the ground. They stay up in the atmosphere. It's kind of scary. That sounds cool. I love the sound of that going through the trees. Oh, that's right. You're in tornado country too, Leanne. What I'm hearing over there that sounds like a car. Oh yeah, my mom's from Michigan. Yeah, she told me stories when she was little with tornadoes. Yeah, what I'm hearing over there, it sounds like a car going through the wet road. Is actually there's two giant pine trees over there. I don't know what they are, but they're like 50 feet tall. And I guess that's what I'm hearing over there. Because all of a sudden I hear this like high pitched noise, and I think it's the wind going through those bigger pine trees over there. Well, this is good. This is what I like. I like winter storms here because we don't, we don't, we don't have tornadoes. We don't have hurricanes. We don't have things that could kill you. Well, except earthquakes. We have mudslides though. Yeah, mudslides could kill you. We have flooding, but not in the area I'm in. And we had so many fires this year. I'm glad this wind's coming from behind the house. I'm glad it's coming from the ocean because if it was coming from inland, I would be just getting smacked right now. Still cloudy out here and there, but I think it's just going to be a windstorm tonight with periodic rain. It's definitely moving in right now. It's kind of eerie. It's like, is it going to get worse? I don't know. I'm just not a. I don't know. Tornadoes and hurricanes are, yeah, they're definitely worse than. I don't know. I see people that don't want to come here because earthquakes. I'm like, yeah, they don't happen that often, and a lot of them aren't that big. Every once in a while. Yeah, we do get flooding. It depends on where you live. do occasionally get mass flooding here in California, or mudslides that take out roads, and especially we have fires. We had so many fires this year that's gonna be an issue if we do get some heavy rain, because there's nothing holding those. There's nothing holding those things in anymore. You just saw the trees and the brush that hold the hillside together, and when that gets all burned off, a whole mountainside could come down. It does sound a little eerie, doesn't it? I like the sound of wind going through the trees like that, but it does give it that sort of tornado-y sound, that sound. I start hearing things falling over if it gets too windy. We do have sometimes trees go down here, and people's fences get blown over. I mean, you get some 40, 50 mile an hour gusts, 60 mile an hour gusts, and things can fall over. Especially the trees, when if we have rain with it and they get all wet. They pick up that weight and that wind hits them and it just takes them over. And we lose our power because a lot of times those trees take out telephone wires. Hunkering down for a storm. Yeah. That's where you get the trouble with the frickin' tornadoes, is when it's flat. Tornadoes evidently love flat lands. And they love trailer parks. they just seem to love flat land and trailer parks. That's weird. I'm seeing. I don't know if it's going to start raining. It's not raining at the moment. It's just that wind's picking up. Well, if it blows enough, I might end up by you guys by the end of the night. If you see my porch and house start spinning, I'm on my way to Kansas, guys. I'm on my way to Kansas. The house is picked up and it's spinning. We're going east. Gonna end up in Oz. Wow. I don't know. It's just, if this wind's like I'm gonna get you from Kansas. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I said tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow night's supposed to be like, because I got my panel Mondays. But It did say on the National Weather Report 26-mile-an-hour winds. Don't get me started on the cars. Yeah, that doesn't happen in California. We're overly inspected. We have some of the strictest smog regulations in the U.S. I'm starting. Can you hear all those wind chimes going now? Glad I took mine down. There was one here, but we took it down. I had to take it down because I was doing a video out here and the wind was blowing. It was annoying me. I'm like, I don't want to hear that freaking thing in my video. The whole time I'm talking, all I hear is ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. So I yanked it off and put it away. Wow. You had that happen too, Jess Fish? Yeah. Yeah, I had that happen, Jess Fish. I actually got pulled over for speeding. While he was talking to me, I let out a big fart, and yeah, the fucker added that to the ticket. I was like, what's this? What's this second check? What's this about? Extra gases? What is this ticket about? He goes, oh, I heard you fart really loud while I was talking to you, and that's not allowed in California. Yeah, we're that strict. When I had my rabbit, when I have a rabbit every 2 years, I had to take off my illegal throttle body and my illegal non-catalytic converter, and I had to put my catalytic converter on and my original throttle body and go get smogged, and then I had to take it off and replace it with my straight pipe and my illegal throttle body. That thirsty coyotes. Exactly. We have a lot of coyotes here too. All right, that was a car. We have pretty big packs of coyotes around here. I've been on my lives, and you can hear them. They come through because there's. Well, here, let me show you. There's these houses behind me, and then on the other side of it, there's a big open land area. And every once in a while, you'll hear a big pack of coyotes howling as they go through that. Plus, I mean, there's a lot of stuff by the river that's open. Yeah, there's actually quite a few coyotes here. And they come in right across the street from me. I've been on my lives when a pack of them will come through and they'll all start howling. Oh, there's really? We, if you saw the adventure with Jess Fish to the river, there's a lot of wild cats over there. They're not wild cat. Well, I guess they are wild cat. But remember that we saw like there's like freaking 200 cats there. There were like packs of them. They were all like set in groups. I guess that's the place you come and release your cat if you don't want it. Yeah, wild dogs are no joke either. I said like 40% of their diets in Cali are cats. Just oh, really? In Cali? Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, in Cali, you don't want to leave your. Depending on where you live, you don't. Yeah, most people don't. Even if it's an outside cat, they bring them in at night because yeah, they'll take out a lot of cats. And like I said, right here, like I said, I mean, you can see me where I am. I'm here on my porch. There's this house there, and then right over that. Oh, I've been over there for a lie, but it's all open on the other side of that. And there's houses past that. But yeah, the wolves come in and go through, or not the wolves, the coyotes come in and go through there, and so I'm sure if anybody's cat's out at night, they're gonna take it out. Actually, my neighbor here, when we first moved here, he had like 9 cats, 8 or 9 cats, and I don't know. I think now they have 1 or 2, but they keep inside only because he said his cats kept disappearing. I would hear him out at night, like sometimes like trying to call him in, and then yeah, over the next like first 3 years I lived here, and I suddenly talked to him. He goes, "Yeah, we're down to like 3 cats." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "They're just not here. We don't know what happened. They're gone." I'm like, and coyotes took them out. Your cats went that way. Or even raccoons. Raccoons will take out cats. Raccoons will definitely. We have lots of raccoons here. They'll take out a cat. Someone brought into the river. Yeah, I said we have the river over that way. Salinas River's that way. Um, well, plus, I mean, we have lots of hills and stuff. Pebble Beach. I mean, Monterey County that I live in, it's a pretty big county. It's only 1% developed. So, I mean, a lot of it is farmland, but a lot of it is still just open mountains and open, like all the Big Sur, and we have mountain lions here. We have brown bears here. We have tons of freaking raccoons, skunks, possums. Yeah, it's turkeys. We had turkeys that invaded our town. They finally had to capture them and take them away because they were just wandering all through town. I have pictures of some of them. Yeah, they were wandering through town with 7-Eleven, and they're all just like in the parking lot at 7-Eleven. There's like 30 turkeys, and they would just wander through the streets, wander through the neighborhoods, and they finally had to capture all of them and take them, I don't know, miles away inland or up in the hills or something, and let them all go because they just decided they wanted to come live in the city. You could have got eaten. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you an interesting story about, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story, Leanne. But I gotta go pee pee. I gotta go tinkle. Talk amongst yourselves. we had one on my channel. I gotta back that off. Gotta put my blankie back on. We had Mac the Rack on my channel for a little bit. Yeah, you said you've got a lot of cats in your traps. Wow. No, we had what it was called. We called it Mac the Rack, and it used to come by when I went live at 8, and it was still light out. Um, and I caught on film a bunch of times. It used to come by here, and it'd walk right by me, and then we'd go across the street. And then we found out, or I found out, and it would do it like every night, not the nights I was live. Every night I was sitting out here, it would always go by. And I would say hi to it, and it would stand up and look at me. And all of a sudden, in strict loss, yeah. And then one day I came out, and it had three little babies with it. It had 3 babies with it. So evidently, our neighbor in the backyard has a bunch of like stuff piled up in that. So she had her babies, I guess, in his backyard, hidden somewhere. Yeah, and she brought them out one day, and they were teeny. I've never seen them. I mean, that was when she first brought them out. I've never seen raccoons when they're that small. But I was coming from my car, and I walked, and she came around the corner with them, and she started growling at me, and they like hid under her, and I was like, whoa, whoa, I'm good. And then she backed up, and she went back that way. And I heard her climbing the fence, and the little babies were trying to climb it to go back. Yeah, and then I saw her a few more times. She went by with the kitties, and suddenly there were 3. Because first time I saw her, there was only 2. 3, and then I never saw her again. But another good story. You'll like this one, Leanne. We have a lot of skunks here too. Before I went live, I used to be a skunk, and I'd be sitting on the porch, and she would suddenly come up and go under our fence, and she had 7 little skunky babies with her. And she would come over the fence, and she would come up this way, and she'd turn that way, and here's like 7 little little teeny skunks with their tails straight up that would follow her. And I would see them quite often. She would come, I don't know where she took them. She came from our backyard. But yeah, and then one night I was sitting out here, and I was just sitting there. I wasn't live or anything. I was just sitting here, and I had my cigarette, and I was drinking my beer, and all of a sudden this little skunk came up, just by himself. But he was like, his body was only like that big. And I saw him coming, and he came up the first step. Then he came up the second step, and I didn't say anything to him. I was just sitting here just staring at him. And he came up, and he put his front paws up and looked up and down the porch. Then he came up onto the porch, and and so I just sat here, right? And he came up. First he came up, and he went over here, and he sniffed the shoes. Then he came over, and he sniffed my feet. I mean, I'm just in socks. And he was sniffing all over my feet. And then he went over there to that chair, and he went, and he like sniffed around it, and he went over to where the trash can, and he sniffed that. And then he came back over here, and he like sniffed my feet again, and sniffed it, and kind of like looked up at me and sniffed it. But I just stood still. I never said a word. And then he went, and they went back over, and then he went down the stairs, and he went that way. Yeah, I was. I like I said, if you just sit there and you don't say anything, you just watch it with your eyes and don't move. Yeah, that's what I said. I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried, because he was looking around and that. But when he came up and started sniffing my feet, I was just hoping he wouldn't like try to bite one. That was my because if he bit it, I was gonna react. So that was, I mean, because I'm sitting right here and I'm just looking straight down. I didn't like move my head, but I'm just like looking at him, and I'm just like, please don't like try to, because we had shoes in the back and they used to chew on them. Like don't, just do not bite my foot. I'm cool with you. Just, and luckily he didn't. He just went around, but he came back and he sniffed it again. At the same time, I'm like, just don't bite it. Just don't bite it. Because if you bite it, I'm gonna freaking react, and you're probably gonna like spray, and this will be bad. But yeah, no, and he went on his way. So, but I've had them before when individual ones have come up. They'll like come up to me and I'll be like, "Hey, Skunky," and all of a sudden they'll stop, and they just do this little back up, and they have their tail up, not pointed at me, but away from me because they're coming at me, and I'm like, "Hey, Skunky," and they'll be like, and I won't say anything else. I'll just stop. And they'll like look at me for a sec, and then they'll turn and go back the other way. But because they do that little footstep thing. And yeah, and if you aggravate them more than that, usually that's when they turn around and they'll spray. So I've had them do that little and put their tail straight up and just stare at me, and I'm like, I'm not saying another word. I'm not even gonna move. Just turn around and go away. They are really cute when they're so small. I mean, they're like their bodies like 6 inches long and their tails like a foot long. They're so cool. Peppy is pew. Yeah. But it wasn't having. You get them. I haven't seen them in a while. I haven't seen a skunk around here in a while. I know they're still here. This one was around for a while. I don't know where. I think she lived. Oh, she lived in one of the yards, but she always came from behind us. But it was like 2 or 3 years that she always, she would always come through, and every year she would have her pride of how many little skunkies. And yeah, I haven't seen a, well, actually, no, I think I saw a skunk come by here, I don't know, about 6 months ago. I've seen possums go by. They often, our back room, our living room where my parents and that watch the TV, there's actually a glass doors. And sometimes they'll come up and look in the window. The raccoons and sometimes the skunk. And I'll go in, I'll hear my mom, or I'll be in my room, and all of a sudden I'll hear my mom, like, or my stepdad open the door and hear, "Shoot, shoot." And I'm like, "What was that?" I'm like, "Oh, he turned around, and there was a raccoon staring in the window." "Oh, really?" He's like, "Yeah, he just had his head like up against the glass, and he was just looking inside." I've had them fight too. I had them fight when I was out here live in the spring. When I started fighting, I was on one of my lives, and they were fighting around the corner, and everybody was like, "I heard that. I heard that. What is that?" I'm all, "It's the raccoons." They're like, "It sounded like demonic beasts." I'm like, "I know, man. I used to like them, but when I hear them when they're mad and how that deep growl they have, I'm like, I don't like them anymore. Just they they sound so freaking mean. Yeah, if I could have got that on video, at least the skunk that came up. You're right, Leanne. That would have gone. Yeah, or just when I'm out here and they come under and I'll go by, like when there's like 7 or 8 of them. Mama skunk and like 7 or 8 little babies, like just they're really cool looking. I love their little black and white look, especially when their body's only like that big and they still got the big old tail. They're so cute. Oh, I was walking to 7-Eleven one night, in the middle of the night, and I got confronted by one. I was walking down the street and he was walking towards me and he got all attitudey with me from far, far away. Yeah, I was just walking and there was one there and I was walking towards him and I kind of slowed down to stop because I was just gonna let him like go wherever he went. And all of a sudden he saw me and he started coming at me and doing that same thing. Little like jumps at me and I'm like, uh, I'm, uh, I'm not, I'm not a threat. I'm not a threat. Zeke. Rode the skate park last Sunday. Did you see? I was there, wasn't I? I was there last Sunday, but I didn't. Well, I didn't skate till like 3 or 4. What time was it? Because I don't get there till like 3 o'clock. I skate in the evening. Yeah, but I said when I was walking, this skunk gave me total attitude, and I just finally like. I was there, wasn't I? I was live then. I was live skating last Sunday. I had to be there. Did you say Sunday? I was there last Sunday, right? Yeah, I was there. I went live. Right? I don't know. Somebody refresh my mind. It's old. Pretty sure I was there though. It was really empty. Yeah, I was there. I was gonna say last Sunday, yeah, I was there. Not this Sunday, obviously, because it's raining right now. Oh, really? Was he in the tournament? Then he fished with koi. Yeah, see, I'm like, I was there. Don't do that to an old man. I'm like, am I losing my mind? I swear I was there last Sunday. Um, yeah, I was there. Yeah, I fished with the corn afterwards. Um, what'd you think of it? It's a lot of fun. Oh, you didn't skate it? Yeah, my car was there. My car was there. It was It was parked. It was parked kind of from across from the first dock. The first dock that's there, and there's the two docks. I think it was parked like right across from the first dock. I think that's where I was on Sunday. Well, that's what I was gonna say. I actually saw a jackrabbit here one day too. I was sitting here on my porch, and all of a sudden I saw something going in the middle of the street. And I look out, and it sat down in the middle of the street, and it was a big ass freaking jackrabbit with like the 12-foot ears. And I'm like, "Hey, Christopher, what is up?" And I'm like, "I've seen. We used to have squirrels here when we first moved here. I haven't seen them in a while, but." I'm like, that's a freaking, and then it got kind of freaked out and went over there and it ran in that person's yard, and it went over here and it ran in their yard. And then I get up to go in the house, and I open the door to show my mom. I'm all, "Mom, there's a jackrabbit." And I guess it heard me, and all of a sudden it took off down the street. Oh, he's going on his own now? Yeah, and when I first moved here in '09, there were a lot of freaking ground squirrels around here. I haven't seen one in years, but they used to run around here all the time. I'd see them come from under my neighbors, and they'd run out in the street, and other times I'd see them running across. And I guess they moved on. I don't know. Maybe the raccoons ate them. I don't know, but I haven't seen them in a while. But yeah, we had a lot of cool ground squirrels here back in '09 when I came here, and till around 2012 and that, and then I don't know, last 7 8 years I haven't seen any ground squirrels around here. At least not running through the neighborhood. I don't know. They built a lot more houses past that open space that way. Oh wait, oh no, I know. There's like five. Tito. No, actually, there's like five. Well, actually, there's a set of red tail hawk and a set of red shoulder hawk that are always over here across from me in the sky and that. So maybe they took them all out. They might have depleted the population of them, because yeah, there's two sets of them. There's a pair of red shoulder and a pair of red tail hawks that are, I see almost at least a couple times a week, always circling right across from me in the open space. So yeah. Did you go fishing the other day, Tito? Did you go yesterday on Saturday? He called me, and um, he called me and asked me, but I said I spent 4 or 5 hours yesterday downloading music. I just got in this music binge. I downloaded 77 songs. I think I looked through. I listened to 800 songs in my research yesterday. I listened to 800 songs. Just a couple swimming. All right. Yeah, I listened to about 800 songs. And I downloaded 77 songs. I don't know, I just got in a refresh my music for my videos click. And I just sat there for hours just listening to song after song after song after song. I said I kind of felt like I kind of felt like The Voice. You know, they sit there. Isn't The Voice where their chairs are turned away, and they listen to him and they listen to him until they hear something that they think is good enough, and then they hit the button. Because I was sitting there listening to the song, going, and all of a sudden it would kind of get to a point, and I'm like, all right, download. Pretty slow. No one around. We had that. We had close to a 15-pound limit. Right, Jess? We had at least 13. It was one with a 15-pound. Well, that one I caught, I mean, looking at the picture, that one was probably, that one I caught was probably 3 3/4. Looking at it, I would think that largemouth you caught that one was probably 3. We had at least 13. Because what, 2.5 pound average is 13, right? No, 2.5 is a 12.5 pound limit. So yeah, we probably had around 13 pounds. We probably had 13 or 14 pounds with those fish. I think, well, I think at least our 3 largemouth were probably close to 9 pounds. I would think. No, but I think your 2 largemouth and my largemouth were probably close to 9 pounds. And then we had 3 other spots, so we could have culled one. Yeah, I think we were at least close to like 13 pounds. Somewhere in that range. He got second place with 13. Yeah, I'm just thinking of, I mean, you go back and look at him, but we were somewhere around that 13-pound range. For sure. That one I caught, I mean, when I looked at it in those pictures and that mine had to at least be, it was at least 3.5, maybe 3 3/4. And I know the 2 largemouth you caught were probably pretty close to 3 themselves. And then some of those spots were probably close to 2 pounds. Oh yeah, we forgot about that. Well, I doubt we'd ever catch it again. Too big of a lake. No, we would have. So we would have actually done. I mean, we weren't in the tournament because there were 4 of us. But if he got second with 13, we would have made money for sure. Yeah, yeah, we could have kept them. We should have done that. We should have kept the. We should have kept. Yeah, we should have kept all of them in the live well, and then at the end of the day, weighed them, and then we could have compared them to what happened in the tournament. But I'm just looking. I mean, I fished a lot of tournaments. I've caught a lot of 12, 13-pound limits. Our fish were definitely somewhere in the 12 to 13 to 14-pound range for sure. they weren't all 1.5 pounders, and I said I think combined our 3 largemouth probably would have been close to at least 9 pounds. And our spots we caught weren't 1 pounders. Is there camping nowadays? I don't know. You'd have to call them and see. How much money did he win? Well, that's everything, Zeke. I've been in and out of fishing. I've been in and out of fishing. He won 2,400. Well, there were 106 boats. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we might have. We probably would have been in the top 5 that day. Well, actually, my last fish came after weigh-in. Technically, but yeah, our total weight compared to there, yeah, we would have been in the top 5 for sure. So we did kick the ass of most of the tournament, since there were 106 boats. So we did pretty damn good, I guess. Wasn't just slow for us; it was slow for them too. Or they caught a lot more fish, but they couldn't get ones as big as we caught. Or they were catching all spots, and we ended up with 3 largemouth. Either way, that's good to hear. We did actually do pretty good. We didn't know how they were doing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had more than 12. I think at least we would have easily had 12 and a half. Of course it's low. We've had no rain. We're 8 inches below. That's why I'm hoping these next 9 days of predicted rain happen. Oh yeah, San Antonio has a really small watershed. It takes that lake forever. Nassau has the big watershed. San Antonio has a very small watershed. It takes twice as much rain to fill up San Antonio as it does Nassau Meadow. That's why they're trying to build the pipe between the two so they can pump the water from Nassau into San Antonio. I think Nassau Meadow has like 2 or 3 times the watershed that San Antonio has. I have no idea why they built a lake right next to another lake, and when it's full, it's a big lake, but it just takes 2-3 times as much rain to fill it up. So it was kind of bad planning from the beginning when they built that lake. Because I had a watershed management class. Yeah, they all have trout. They don't stock them, but they all have trout. Um, yeah, I had to do a watershed management class, and we studied the watershed and the volume of watershed of the 2 lakes in one of our classes. And yeah, it's teeny compared to Nassau. That's why Nassau's usually gets pretty full, and San Antonio just never fills up. Nassau will get to like 90%. A lot of that's because of the mercury. Los Jimenez and San Antonio have high mercury counts. So just because of the environmental impact, they don't do it. Yeah, but a lot of it here in California and a lot around us with the hills and that around it, it's a mercury issue. Anyway, you'd have to eat a hell of a lot of fish constantly to get enough mercury to cause an issue. In California, it becomes a problem. So that's why they don't stock a lot of these because of their tested mercury content in the water. In Pinot Lake, they stopped stocking them because of the blue-green algae content. Didn't have to do with mercury, but it was the blue-green algae. And they did a test and found it in their liver at a high content, so that's why they stopped stocking it because, I mean, I said it's fine, just eat the meat, don't eat the liver. Liver's doing its job, it's taking out the toxins. But yeah, that's the reason why, Zeke, is mercury content in majority of these lakes in Central California, and it comes from all the way back in the 1840 gold rush. Because they use mercury to separate the gold from the sand and all that, and then they just poured a lot of that mercury into the creeks. And over the last 120 years, it's made its way in. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's California with all our rules and our environment. I mean, the lead thing is the weird thing is if you look at the lead, all our baits I buy that say warning, one state in all of the U.S. is on the warning. It says the state of California says that lead can cause birth defects and other stuff. We're the one that made the law. It doesn't. It's the. I mean, you look at any magazine, Bass Pro Shops, everything. When you see that warning, Camophonia. No, it's California. It says right on there, the state of California. Those signs are bars. California. Yeah, and I'm like, well, how come we're the only state that's made this law? There's 49 other states. None of them made a law that says it could be harmful to birth defects and everything else. But that warning has to go on into anything that's sold in any other state, just because we in California made that law. We said it could be harmful to reproduction and stuff. Yeah, the lead ban is only because of California. Weird, but you'll see it everywhere. It doesn't say the U.S. or anything. It says California. We're the ones that made up that law. And now it applies to the whole U.S. Don't know why, but it does. I'm going to tinkle again. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm back. I made another good tinkle run. Yeah, but I've always found that funny when I look at it. I mean, it's, if you look at Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, any freaking catalog, when it talks about warnings, toxic warnings and all that, it's always about the lead, and it's always because it's California law. I'm like, why are we the ones that made that law? You live in a different state, not California. So why is it all on us? Why are we the only state that said, oh yeah, you know, lead's not good? Lead can do harmful things, according to the state of California. Right? Am I just freaking out? No, I think it says everywhere, right? Let me back up my facts. Let me see if I can find it in here. It says it in most of these somewhere. Right? You guys back me up on this, right? You've seen this. Get you some lead stuff. Might find some lead stuff in my catalog. Oh, here we go. Found it. Warning. This. Yeah. Warning. This product can cause you from the chemicals, lead seized, we know to be state of California to cause cancer and birth defects and other reproductive harm. And that's in a fishing catalog. Fishing catalog from a catalog that's not even from here. Yeah. It all just says state of California. What? Is Pinot closed? Oh no, I just haven't been fishing there. Fishing's been slow. Kind of over it. They fucked that lake up with that thing. It's just getting worse and worse. Especially from shore. Even Christian said that. All right, Tito. Have fun. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, you know, Christian. He was just in there. I don't know if he's still in there, but Christian Trinidad, evidently, evidently on his recommended, one of my old Pinot from Shore shows came up, and he left me a comment going, "Wow, you're right. Pinot used to be so much better from shore." I'm like, yeah. I used to catch 15, 16, 20, a lot of little ones, but a lot of keepers too. And it just doesn't happen anymore. They screwed it up. the wind stopped. Remember earlier in the stream we thought it was going to get nasty? It's dead calm now. That's weird. Oh, well, you said it earlier, Zeke, didn't you? I think you did. Yeah, you said it right there. Yes, I remember Pinot Lake water was so disgusting. It didn't matter. I don't eat the fish. Yeah, well, um, evidently a couple otters in the ocean died. Twilight Zone night. Yeah, I thought it was gonna get worse, and I mean, I've been talking to you guys. I just realized. I just went, wait a minute. Oh, now that I said it, the wind's starting to pick up a little bit. No, a couple otters died in the ocean from blue-green algae because when it comes in to the ocean through the creeks and stuff, mussels absorb it to a point that if animals eat it, it can get toxic enough to kill them. That happened. They sort of traced it back. Went to Pinot in the fall when it was disgusting and said that had to be where it came from. So they got $1 million grant. They laid in aluminum sulfide, which coagulates all the sulfates and all the phosphates. All the phosphates were in there because of all the farming that had been around it for, been there 10,000 years. And so they went in and they treated it with aluminum sulfide to kill the blue-green algae, but all the good algae and everything also use it, so it pretty much killed off all the algae growth in there. And that's why it's not green anymore. That's why it always turns brown. That's why it's clear a lot. Because they shut off the food source for the algae. The bad one plus also all the good ones. So yeah, they did it 2015, I think, 2016. Might have been 2017. 2016, 2017. And the lake's pretty much been, I mean, the fish aren't dying, but it's become downhill since then. Oh no, it's fine now. Just fish now. It's crystal clear and clean. Won't catch as many fish, but water's a lot cleaner. Fishing's a lot tougher because it's clear all the time, and those fish do not like clear water because it's not that deep. But yeah, I have a lot of pictures of the blue-green algae. I think one of the Throwback Thursdays I did when I showed myself flipping. In a lot of that you could see there's just this green. It got like a green-blue color. Yeah, it was all from otters. I went to the meeting about it. I listened to their water clarity guy, who's actually a marine biologist, and I questioned him on that, and he said he didn't really answer me. No, 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 no. The water from there flows down the creek and gets into the ocean, and then the mussels, because they're a filter feeder, they absorb the blue-green algae. Yeah. They absorb the blue-green algae as it flows into the ocean. Yeah. And the funny thing is, they came to it. See, I've seen the effects of it. It used to in the fall. In the fall, when the water was below the pipe that led to the creek, that led to the ocean, that's when the thing was disgusting, and it was just looked like moss green, blue green, just film all over the water. And by the time winter came, it would usually have died off by then. And then we'd get winter, and then the water would fill up enough that it would actually flow out the pipe. So my thought as a wildlife biologist was, well, it's it's 3 feet. Yeah, they just saw it that completely filthy with blue green algae. And I'm kind of like, and if you look online, there's a picture of a girl holding a mason jar full of it, and they show the lake. And I'm like, yeah, but if you turn over there and look, the water is like 4 feet below the pipe that flows out. None of this blue green algae that you're seeing here and taking pictures of and blaming for their death is not flowing out that pipe. And it probably won't flow out that pipe in a normal year until about December. And by December, all this shit has died off and it's not in the water anymore. But, ooh, it blinked me. But yeah, they blamed it on Pinot. And that was my first. I even questioned the guy, the water quality guy that set up the whole having them come and treat it. And I went, yeah, but it happens in the fall and it's not flowing. And by the time it gets up high enough to flow out the pipe, the blue green algae is probably much died off to where if you took a test of the water, it's going to be very minimal because it's gone dormant. But, you know, they got their publicity. Yep. And they got $1 million grant to do it. They did say the blue green algae was actually detected and such in other creeks and stuff in Watsonville and other areas around here in Monterey that could have caused it. But since when they went to research it and walked up on Pinot in the fall and saw the amount of it in there, I don't even think they tested any of the rest of the stuff. They just went, no, it came from here. This is where it came from. Look at this place. Look at how stacked full of this. This is definitely where it came from. And this is how those otters got killed. And like I said, my first, yeah, I said it was detected in other. I mean, obviously, if it's in Pinot, Pinot's been there 10,000 years. It's in all the sloughs and that, but they didn't treat any of the sloughs. the, the only lake in the whole Monterey and in Santa Cruz County that they treated was Pinot, because they just jumped to the conclusion that, oh, it came from here. Look at this mess. This is definitely where enough of the toxin would have come from to kill those couple otter. So they got their grant and they treated it, and now it's freaking screwed. I said we need to start going in there with fertilizer bags, high in phosphates, and just dump hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of them in the lake and reverse what they did. Because there's not as much farming and everything else around anymore, so it doesn't get that sort of phosphate runoff into it anymore. So, and the other thing is, there's never been anybody on record that's gotten sick. Anyway, they tell you there's all signs at Pinot say wash your hands, don't touch the water, and that. not one single person on record, or even dog or animal, that's gotten ill from Pinot. So, but otters died miles away in the ocean from a toxin that exists in that lake, so it had to come from there. Yeah, just typical bureaucratic bullcrap. They came to their conclusion. Yeah, and at the time, I think it was a California congressman jumped on board, and of course all the environmentalists and the dicky bird watchers, PETA. Yeah, and even I'm pretty sure you can go back online and you can research it. But I think even a congressman jumped on board because it's California otter. It's endangered. Well, I guess they still are an endangered species, but they're doing pretty damn good. But yeah, that yeah, they just jumped on the bandwagon. Something to blame. Something to blame. They wanted to be the hero. They wanted to save the otters. So they all jumped on board, and that's how they got the grant. No, they didn't spray. They actually had they came in with barges. They had barges, and it has these hoses that go off it. It was a big ordeal. Oh, now the wind's picking up again. Yeah, I didn't go at their time, but I talked to Rick and them, and they were there when it happened. Yeah, and they had these big kind of barges and the pipes and 100K. No, it was they got it. Yeah, actually they got a. Well, they got a. It was supposed to be 1 million. I think they got 750K. And then before that, and I talked about this in another live, they paid Fish and Game to come in for like 3 or 4 weeks to electroshock and kill all the carp before they did the actual treatment with the aluminum sulfide. Because I don't know, this guy, I say he's a marine biologist, not even a wild biologist, but he's English. I know him. He still fishes there. But he said, oh, there's so many carp in there. When they go down and they suck and spit on the bottom, they're the ones that release all the phosphates. And since they release into the water and it's not still just sort of in the mud on the bottom, that's what causes the blue-green algae to bloom and take off. And so, yeah, for like, I don't know, like a month straight. No, just the common carp. Yeah, for a month straight, they were there and they brought in big dumpsters. I think they ended up taking out or killing off like 3,000 pounds of carp. But it's not gonna, there's still tons of carp in there, hundreds of carp. It's not gonna do anything. But they spent some of that money to have the Fish and Game come in with their electroshock boats and collect 3,000 pounds over a month or something of carp, which isn't going to change it. So yeah, it was pretty much an environmental debacle. Pretty much just a waste of $1 million or $750,000 of taxpayers' money for something that solved a problem that wasn't a problem and create a problem with the fact that it sort of disrupted the fishery and how the fishery and the people that come to enjoy to fish it don't catch as many fish, and it's nowhere near its potential it used to be. So, and the reality is, even before they did that, no other otters died. So, I think by the time they treated it, it was like a year or 2 years after the otters died. By the time they got all done, Nothing else had happened. No other otters had suffered from dying from toxicity from toxins from blue green algae. So a lot of people jumped in and wanted to be heroes for saving otters. Maybe it was the lead. Yeah. I don't know. I always say, well, I always say if I'm 54 years old and I've spent my whole life biting friggin' lead weights, the split shots, putting them in my mouth, biting them down. Sometimes when I'm getting ready to hook up my line and I have my weight and I don't have anywhere to put it, I like put it in my mouth. All right, Just Fish, I'll put it in my mouth, I'll hold my mouth all out, and I'll be like, and I'll get my hook, and I'll be like, oh, okay, and I'll take it back out of my mouth and put it on. But I'm constantly with split shots, the squeeze ones, putting it in my mouth, squeezing it. I've never had lead poisoning. Lead poisoning is really only a factor when it's what it where it really came from is in lead paint, because in lead paint it was put in as a powder, so it's small enough and thin enough that it can get into the body and be absorbed in. When it's a weight in that, it's a solid form. It doesn't. It's not in a powdery form. So even that is sort of a backwards philosophy that they have, because it doesn't do that. I could swallow a lead weight, it'll go through my system and I'll shit it out and I won't get lead poisoning. It was coming from lead paint and it would get into a powder, very microscopic, almost like, like a virus size. And that doesn't happen from lead weights. It doesn't become that dust particle, small enough form of lead to get into your system, which causes lead poisoning. So even all that is sort of a back-ass words, stupid philosophy. Back-ass words, right? Isn't that the term? But I don't know, I'm getting older. I'm losing terms. Yeah, that's just like, well, it's the whole asbestos thing. Remember, all our brake pads on our cars used to be made out of asbestos. But they also used to use asbestos in ceiling panels and in insulation, and it became a powdery microscopic form, and people would inhale it like dust, which we inhale when we breathe all the time. And that started causing issues. But that whole time and everything, it was in our brake pads on all of our cars. And nobody got sick from that. Right. Now we don't use them in it, but at the time we did. But the asbestos problem was from, and my aunt actually died from it because she worked in a factory that had asbestos in the paneling in the ceiling and in the some of the insulation, and she ended up forming lung cancer and stuff from the asbestos that she breathed in the microscopic form. And yeah, when you work on, yeah, that's why, because it would be all that powder around your rim and everything that came for the brakes, but you weren't scraping it off and like eating it. But yeah, when you use the right, and that's why, yeah, when you're doing your brakes and that, if you blow it off and get into that very dust microscopic form, and inhale it, then the asbestos can become a problem. And that's the same thing with lead, and a lot of the lead too. When they're trying to get rid of lead, and I read a lot of the evidence on this when the EPA, or not the what's the EPA, whoever, they keep trying to ban lead products from fishing lures, and they keep getting denied. And they funny is they blamed it because birds die from the lead. But then if you read their research, the birds died because they ate something. I think they ate a piece of lead that was like over an ounce or an ounce and a half. And they didn't die from the lead poisoning. They died because the size of the piece of lead that they swallowed was so big that it clogged their intestines. And so they couldn't pass anything through it, which backed them up and they died. It wasn't, it was, because if when I was reading it, it was like, they suddenly said, oh, there shouldn't be any weights used that are more than an ounce and a half or 2 ounces or something. And I'm like, but in California, our reasoning for it was because it was in paint and it became a powder and microscopic. No, but it does. It has to be, but it has to be, it has to be a microscopic amount of lead that can pass and get into your cells and everything and actually get into your body. But their reasoning was they ate something that was so big that was a lead weight that it plugged up their digestive system and they couldn't pass out their feces and that, so they got intoxicated from that and they died. They didn't die from lead poisoning. They died from a piece of lead that they ate that was too big to go through their system. And those are two totally different things. That's why that ban has never been passed in lead in hunting rifles or shotgun blasts or fishing, because their evidence does not meet up to the standards of why California says it's harmful to reproductive and can cause cancer. It's from the small little particles, and that all came from lead paint. Nothing to do with lead fishing and solid lead. It was dust and particles that were so small that it could get inside the body. Whew. Didn't know this would be a whole conversation like this, but did they ban it in California? Huh. Really? They got it. They got the ammo passed? Huh. I don't know. Aren't a lot of the aren't a lot of bullets lead? I mean, I don't know. I know BBs aren't lead. I don't know if shotgun are lead. But we're California. We're the ones that we're the only ones that have lead. So yeah, that might be why here. But solid form of lead is not the issue. It's when it becomes a very fine particle. Like I said, I'm a prime example. Of the con, I mean, I don't know. That's why I said it's never passed. That's why the fishing banning lead in fishing has never ever passed, because Their evidence does not stand up. Everything they present to the EPA about it, it's always considered not enough evidence to ban lead. I mean, like you go down to, you go down to the pier. I've always joked about this too. You go down to the pier, and those people, you know, the pier, ocean fishing. All those guys are throwing like 3 and 4 and 5 ounce freaking weights, and they'll lose 5 or 6 of them a day at the pier in the rocks, or just ocean fishing at all. If 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 lead is that much of an issue, our whole oceans would be dead by now. Every fish in existence would have died from lead poisoning. Yeah, 1 pound. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. If somebody went and mined lead off the freaking Coast Guard pier, just that little, what, 50-yard stretch of the, I mean, they would probably bring out like, I don't know, 5, 10,000 pounds of lead. Yet, there ain't no dead fish there. There ain't no fish with 3 eyes. That's why the EPA has never, they've never been able to pass it. It just, the EPA goes, no hard evidence. You just have conspiracies. You have a Trump thing going on. You ain't gonna be trumping us on this lead thing, because it ain't happening. Amount of lead in the lakes, anything in California, the whole U.S. According to what they're trying to say, every lake should be null and void of birds, fish. Lead would have killed everything in existence by now. They have no hard evidence. They just have theories. They have conspiracy theories about it, and it's not proven. I said I should be dead by now, easily. I've known friends that have had their kids that had lead poisoning, and the the initial hype and all that stuff about lead poisoning all came from lead paint. Lead paint and alcohol, and it sort of deteriorated, and it got into a powder form and a very fine. And the wind would blow up through the window, and the kids in their room, and they'd breathe it, and that's how it got into their body. It can pass through our body, and it's fine. It's got to get into our body. Past, because I don't know, this is another thing too. A lot of people don't know, but all inside here and here, all the way to my asshole is exterior body. Here to going out my rear end is an exterior part of the body, is not the interior of your body. Anyway, it all slithers through inside your body. All of this to that is considered outside the body. That's not inside the body. It's got to get through the walls of the intestine, the stomach. Oh, when I start doing this, and pooping, you're out, Zeke? All right. I'm just kidding. Yeah, but that's kind of it with lead. I think if you swallow it, it's inside your body. It's not. It's inside your body, but it's still on the exterior of your body. has to get through that into. Like if you took lead and injected it into your bloodstream and that, then it's inside the body. But just because you swallow it and it goes through your stomach, through your intestines, and out your rear end, it was never inside your body. Technically. It just wasn't. It doesn't absorb through. Your body doesn't break it down enough to be an issue. Well, this has been a fun educational live. Uh-oh, now the wind's starting to pick up again. All right, guys. We're starting to get less and less people in here, and like I said, this was just sort of a, I couldn't skate, couldn't do the fun skate and fish and all that, so I did, but I still wanted to go live for you guys. But thank you so much. You might hit 600K today. Yeah, well, I might hit, yeah, I might hit 4K in the end of 2021. The way my subs keep leaving. I might be back down to 2K subs by the end of the year. Yeah, I will check it, and thank you very much, Nicholas. Yeah, thank you guys. I hope whoever's still in here, I hope I educated you guys, and hope I was somewhat a learning base. I like to be that way. But I'll be live tomorrow. I got the Pedal Mondays tomorrow. I got the Tuesday night Fish Talk Tuesdays. And I don't know, I might be out here tomorrow, and it might be stormy and rainy as well, but I'll be here. And maybe my blanket will show up. Evidently, Richard bought me and sent me a battery-operated electric heater, which is really cool. So, yeah, I might be here with a heated blanket, so that'd be a little bit nicer. But thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. for Panel Mondays. I'm out.